these trainers are locked in, let's jump into the battle.
And here we see the jump left from Nickname into Tinkaton from AMindJoke. This would be okay if it was a regular jump left, but this is a shadow jump left.
Shadow jump left doesn't like to take those play roughs, not being able to take it as hard. Acrobatics will be able to hit quite decently. Both of these trainers going up a little bit ahead and still managing to throw at exactly the same time.
Some of these trainers are thinking in exact same ways, and you can tell that it's a masterclass we're seeing here, trainers. They are realizing what they need to win. Nickname's jump left will get knocked out by 2 play roughs, but he has a Furret in the back, and the Furret does not want to see that Tinkaton at all.
Going a little bit soft ABA weak to this Tinkaton, having 2 Pokemon on the same team. Actually, if you think about it, Azumarill doesn't really have that great of matchup against Tinkaton either. Just going up to basically maximum energy on AMindJoke side here. This will definitely be enough to knock out, and Nickname lets the jump flop go.
You see, Nickname's strategy here is to overload the Tinkaton to make sure that he gets a good alignment somewhere. And the Furret is looking very good if not aligned to the Tinkaton. But can it deal with this Lapras?
Tinkaton has a decent amount of energy popped out here. Lapras says, hello, have a Sparkling Aria. Knocks that down quite low.
It does a lot.
You see that the Trailblaze here is going to be reached. This is a water type attack against, or a grass type attack against Lapras here. And not only that, it's going to boost that Ferret up.
I think Nickname needs to farm down this Lapras. He needs energy to threaten the backline. He knows he needs to put up the shield on this Furret.
Going ahead for a Sparkling Aria. Number 2 here for just getting up to that Swift. Going up for the passive Trailblaze. Going even more. If he's counting, he's going to throw right beforehand.
Excellent counting by Nickname. But he's grimacing. He knows that he needed this energy to handle the backline.
He didn't want to go down a shield. Had to expend a little bit of energy. But at this stage, would that Swift be enough to knock out the very low health Tinkaton?
I think it is. I believe that. Oh, and this is a cat from Nickname. He's deciding to save the Furret. This could be detrimental if he gets a defense debuff on this Azumarill.
Going for the Bulldoze here, and now in comes the Shadow Feraligatr. He does get it. You see Nickname shake his head a little bit here as the Feraligatr takes the field, starting to just charge up energy, throwing the Hydro Cannon before the play rough is even available.
And Nickname, he has seen this double water line from AMindJoke so many times. It's been the trusted choice of AMindJoke in this tournament. He had to have something prepared for this, and he did with the Furret. But now, look at the power of the regular Feraligatr and the regular Lapras. They're so tough to take out.
Going ahead and shielding this up, knowing that this could cause the most damage here, and just charging up a ton of energy. Again, we always talk about how this looks on paper like a good matchup for Azumarill, but really it's in the favor of the Feraligatr, as the next Hydro Cannon is already thrown here, going to be able to get this player up off at the very last second. Does AMindJoke want to shield this up? It will do a nice amount, but Trailblaze would also put the Feraligatr so low.
And this is the strength of Furret, because Feraligatr cannot fast attack down the normal type Furret. Can Nickname win this after all? Can he sucker punch down the entire team of AMindJoke?
Going ahead and trying to get a little bit of damage coming in now with the Tinkaton. There is a shield left, but the Swift will connect if AMindJoke doesn't use a shield, has to use his last shield here at this point. He's hoping for a fairy wind down, but he's not going to be able to get it.
Can AMindJoke get to a Hydro Cannon and take out this Furret? It was looking so bleak for Nickname with a debuff on the Azumarill. But the Furret, can it pull through? The Feraligatr cannot hang on. Furret clutched it up for Nickname.
You saw Nickname kind of slouch over mid-game and perk up at the end as the Furret continued to just do Furret things. Saying, oh, wait, you know what? I'll just knock out this Pokemon. I'll knock out that. You know what? I'll just knock out the rest of the team.
Furret knocking out, taking knockouts left, right, and center. But we have to remind the viewers, this is not just a best of 3, this is a best of 5. AMindJoke has more opportunities to punish this Furret from Nickname. And I want to just note how weak Nickname was to Tinkaton in this matchup, with the shadow jump left that gets knocked out by 2 play roughs, the Furret that cannot hit the Tinkaton even for neutral damage, and also the Azumarill with only resisted charge attacks. But what Nickname did was overload the Tinkaton so that his Furret could have great matchups in the endgame.
I think that Nickname just really put AMindJoke on the back foot. even though that Azumarill was a little bit lower on the defenses because that Bulldoze dropped, AMindJoke had to figure out, I have one shield left. Do I shield up a Play Rough, or do I shield up a potential Trailblaze? Trailblaze would definitely do more damage, but having to not shield that Play Rough put it in farm down range for that Furret in the later game. And then the Furret still had 2 attacks to be able to throw at that Tinkaton.
The momentum that Furret managed to stack up with a Trailblaze and the Sucker Punch damage doing so much, it really was what changed this game for Nickname. Maybe the double water line from AMindJoke, his trusted and most used lineup in this game, is not as efficient against Nickname as it has been against his other competitors.
Nickname still, as a reminder, like Marcus said a little bit earlier on, has still not dropped a game since round number 1 of this tournament yesterday. He's been doing so well against all of his opponents, and he just theoretically would need a regular sweep. He just needs 3 points. He needs 2 more games to solidify his spot in the grand finals. AMindJoke coming into this battle here, we see that jump up against a Shadow Typhlosion. What a call by Nickname!
And this is the last thing you want to see as AMindJoke, because now, and he even gets a Fairy Wind in, and this is horrible for AMindJoke because he's answered by the Azumarill into the Diggersby.
This is going from hard counter to hard counter here, but going for that Scorching Sands, AMindJoke's not giving up. He knows that everything can be flipped. It depends on how your opponent plays out. An attack ball is a great way to get a little party started here for that Diggersby. Ice Beam number 1 coming through on the Azumarill, and no shield on AMindJoke's side.
I wonder if the Diggersby can threaten the Azumarill to shield. Even still, would Nickname shield that up, knowing that he has his own jump bluff for the jump bluff in the front, and he has an energy lead on his Typhlosion?
Oh, a double attack ball is something that could be very interesting, but still an Ice Beam at this range with such a low health Diggersby could still be enough. We're gonna find out, because here it goes. Super effective damage. Down goes the Diggersby. Back comes in this jump bluff, and it's going to be ahead on energy. I think if AMindJoke wants to, he'll be able to throw beforehand, but he chooses to let that energy from the Azumarill go through, and even puts a Protect Shield up on the jump bluff.
Very brave, shielding his jump bluff here, knowing that there's a Shadow Typhlosion in the back, just waiting to get in and start cooking up the Pokemon on the opposing side.
Look at this, even an undercharge here. He wants to be able to try to potentially Fairy Wind down the Azumarill before he gets to an attack, so he comes out with almost maximum energy. And now this is a threat to the Typhlosion because Acrobatics would threaten the knockout, and no shield. What a call by Nickname!
Incredible shield, no shield decision here. This was just an aerial ace, and now the Shadow Typhlosion is onto a Blast Burn, but Nickname has the answer in the back for this Malamar. It's a Shadow Jump Bluff.
Still 2 shields remaining on Nickname's side, calling an incredible bait there from that, oh my goodness, from that jump bluff, being able to still stay in, and now his own jump bluff is getting up so much energy, throwing a bait of his own now into the Malamar on, and AMindJoke is choosing not to shield.
He puts
last second shield.
again. And this is so good for Nickname now, because what he wants is to just land the Blast Burn on the jump bluff. If he's able to do that, then there's no way for AMindJoke to protect his jump bluff anymore.
Going now, if you're paying attention to that energy, there's 2 foul plays loaded on AMindJoke's side. The question is this going to be enough to knock out? It is able to, so this is actually kind of interesting. He's throwing another aerialist. He's going to get some shields here if the Typhlosion doesn't. The big problem is Typhlosion wins charge attack priority on almost everything. I'm so excited to see how Nickname wants to play this out.
Nickname should load up 2 Blast Burns and then just blast both of these Pokemon out of the field, and he's going for it. The Shadow Typhlosion is maxed out on energy, and he can now start throwing attacks into all of AMindJoke's Pokemon. This is a Thunder Punch. It's neutral, but it should be enough to knock out this jump bluff from this range, and there will be another Thunder Punch coming in.
Coming in now, combination, going for 1 Thunder Punch for the jump bluff, 1 Thunder Punch for the Malamar, 2-game win for Nickname. But again, this is a best of 5 series. He's got one more to go if he's going to go into the grand finals.
I'm curious as to why Nickname decided to not throw the blast burns, the harder hitting attacks. He trusted his Typhlosion to knock out just with the fire punches, but he could have thrown the blast burns. Very curious play.
He wanted it so you could have the clip to say, you know, a 1-2 punch.
Sometimes, maybe you just need to lie down and rest for a bit.
I have to tell you what, after this matchup, I almost feel like I have to because my heart is racing. What a call by Nickname. If he didn't shield and it wasn't actually an acrobatics from AMindJoke's jump bluff, that Typhlosion would have been history. It would have been wiped off. It would have been able to get those attacks in at the very end, and it would have been up to Nickname's own jump bluff to be able to sweep in the end game. It could have been a completely different story, but it took a lot of grit and it took a lot of guts, and he was able to call that bait.
We discussed previously how Maximilian has tricked his opponents into playing this or that, and Nickname, with how well Furret was performing in game number 1, expected AMindJoke to adjust for that in game number 2, bringing his jump bluff and the Diggersby, and that made Nickname trust in his Typhlosion, and that Typhlosion just was so tough to deal with for AMindJoke.
If you look at AMindJoke's team composition, even the water-type Pokemon that he has doesn't want to take the Thunder Punches from that Typhlosion. The only Pokemon that can really hang on, even through a Blast Burn, is that Diggersby.
But even, we saw that previously, that Shadow Typhlosion landing a Blast Burn into the Diggersby can still do detrimental damage into that bulky bunny. I want to see what Nickname has cooked up for us in this game number 3, and if AMindJoke has the answers. There is a water type into the Shadow Typhlosion. Is this good or bad, Amanda?
It's sort of neutral. At least the Psywave damage is starting to like wither away at the Typhlosion's health here, but already at a Thunder Punch, which is going to be super effective damage. At least the Lapras is a little bit bulky here. It can survive at least one and will be able to throw off its own attack. Coming in with the Azumarill, knowing that there's no Skull Bash on this one, so it won't be able to comfortably take this. And what you come in with, that's 100, that's a max energy on the Lapras before swapping out into the Tinkaton.
This energy on the Lapras can be incredibly valuable for AMindJoke in the endgame. And this Tinkaton will wall off the energy from the Azumarill, but as you'll see, Azumarill can still put in a lot of work into this matchup.
Tinkaton says, if I'm going down swinging, as you see another play rep going through saying, you throw one, I throw one, guess what? Mine's gonna hurt you just a little bit more. Azumarill already down into the yellow.
I think this could be perfect for AMindJoke because I believe that the Azumarill might be in perfect farm range after the next play ref. And AMindJoke, he wants to come out with some energy here to threaten the Typhlosion with a Bulldoze after this matchup is done. But can the Tinkaton actually knock out the Azumarill before the third play rough? And can it hang on? That is what I'm wondering.
The next one's coming through. We're getting closer to the wire. We're about to find out. We're not even going to find out. A quick swap back into that Typhlosion. Bet now with that Lapras. Lapras has so much energy to its name here. Nickname doesn't even shield.
He decides to just let the Typhlosion go and put it all on his jump bluff in the back. This is a very brave play from Nickname. He's going to have to shield a charge attack from this Lapras because it's an Ice Beam. It can take out the jump bluff in one go.
Nickname shaking his head. No, he recognizes that this Lapras has put in work against this team. Hasn't even seen the third Pokemon here. One shield down. There's a little bit left on the Tinkaton. There's a full health for Alligator with 2 shields to hide behind. Then it's still mid-game.
What do you come in with there? I believe he comes in with, he comes in with a Tinkaton. That is curious. Maybe he just wants to get rid of some of the energy on this jump bluff. That is very smart from AMindJoke. And now he needs to land an Ice Beam with his Feraligatr. And he gets a Feraligatr. He will get a farm down on this Azumarill. No shielding, an Ice Beam. Incredible play by AMindJoke here.
I like that little shake of the head of no on that Feraligatr saying, nope, not going to do it. Not going to shield, just going to get all of that energy. Yum, yum, yum. Back comes in the jump bluff, but still 2 shields to hide behind. Going straight for the attack. AMindJoke is done messing around here. He's done taking the losses. He's saying, Feraligatr, it's time!
The only way AMindJoke could have lost this game is if he got Hydro Cannon bait, no shielded by Nickname. So he goes straight for the Ice Beam, just wants to freeze this Cotton Ball out of the sky.
Already at the attacks on Nickname's side, going for one right beforehand, getting the last shield from AMindJoke. When Shadow Claw away, and Ice Beam will do it. Is he at it? Will he do it? Now it's there.
It's there, and the best Pokemon for AMindJoke, the regular Feraligatr, his most trusted Pokemon in this tournament, is winning him game number 3 here, shoring up the game to 2-1 and keeping AMindJoke in the winner's bracket for now.
Jump Bluff, you need to cool off a little bit there. I'll take it from here. I'll take game number 3. I'll stay on the winner's side of the bracket for now in this best of 5 matchup.
It's Gator feeding time, baby, and the Gator is hungry. And AMindJoke, he lost game number 1 running the Feraligatr, and he brought it back game number 2 to counteract what Nickname was running in game number 3 to counteract Nickname's win. And Nickname stuck to his guns, leading the Typhlosion, but AMindJoke had a response in that Lapras.
The Lapras also, if you think about that play by AMindJoke, it wasn't like a you swap, I swap, I have to swap quick scenario. He saw what came in. He got maximum energy on that Lapras to be able to get a shield off the Jump Bluff, take out the Shadow Typhlosion, and basically set up the Feraligatr in the back.
That Lapras proved so valuable for AMindJoke, and that Ice Beam, we've been discussing Skull Bash versus Ice Beam a lot this weekend, and here you see the value of Ice Beam threatening that Jump Bluff, because Ice Beam is cheaper than Skull Bash, and it does a lot more damage into that flying grass type.
AMindJoke has just taken the first game off of Nickname since day number 1. Definitely the first game of day number 2. And maybe if you're AMindJoke, you now say, oh, what is this? Is this a momentum swing? Is this a refreshing breeze sweeping in my direction?
I believe that AMindJoke knows that he needs to capitalize on this momentum. He needs to show himself that he can still do this. He just showed himself that he can do it. But can he do it again? He is getting ready to take on Nickname, and he gets a terrible start with Tinkaton into Corviknight.
Okay, we'll see what he is going to do for the swap here, because I don't think he'll stay in that matchup. No, immediately going into Feraligatr to be met now with the Ferret. Hydro Cannons are going to do a nice chunk of damage to the Ferret, but this is a regular Feraligatr, not a Shadow, so the Hydro Cannons aren't going to threaten as hard. And actually, the fast attacks are barely doing anything.
But we see the Feraligatr doing enough damage to shut the Ferret. So if Feraligatr can hang on here and get to another Hydro Cannon, then the Ferret will have to shield if it wants to keep switch advantage. And you know, Shadow Typhlosion, it needs those shields.
It looks like Nickname's deciding. He's decided that the Ferret will go down. This is a great play here. Now he gets to decide what will be put onto that Corviknight and what will be onto the Typhlosion. But this is the problem for Tinkaton. It doesn't have any good matches in this matchup.
And this is brilliant by Nickname. He realized he doesn't need switch advantage. What he needs is to just keep his Ferret away from this Tinkaton. And here comes AMindJoke with his Tinkaton into Typhlosion.
Just keep swinging here, going for that Bulldoze, getting a Protect Shield off of the side here. And you have to, Nickname's maybe wondering which Pokemon is in the back. He might have an inkling it isn't that Lapras, but honestly, Corviknight has a pretty decent matchup against all of AMindJoke's team here. Having that in the back is a very safe place for it to be right now.
I think Nickname, he knows that his Typhlosion can win him this game. Just keep on pushing the buttons, Nickname. Throw the Thunder Punches. AMindJoke needs to shield, and the Incinerates are burning down the Lapras tick by tick.
Lapras is only one left for AMindJoke here. The only possible way that he can still stay on this winner's side of the bracket. He needs to take this game to be there. Nickname looks like he's in a comfortable spot already at another Thunder Punch here. We're dwindling down. This Typhlosion looks so menacing with the purple flames throwing a Thunder Punch after Thunder Punch.
And AMindJoke knows. He's shaking his head. There's no way that his Lapras can win out against the Corviknight in the back with this low health. So Nickname coming in with the Corviknight, and he can just sand attack down the Lapras, but he's going for the Iron Head just for good measure. Nickname undefeated going into grand finals.
You see him there. You saw him earlier on in the season. He wants another title for his name. Nickname hugging it out against one of the hardest opponents that he's had to play so far. The first loss that he's taken in quite a while, but he is feeling confident. He's holding up that Shadow type lotion saying, yes, this is the Pokemon that has been giving me such a good victory so far.